Okay, so today we're really diving into this idea, this feeling, that we can all get sometimes, right? Like we're just a tiny speck in this huge world.
Right, right. Like just a face in the crowd or, well, a number.
Yeah, exactly. Just a number. I mean, think about it. Our Social Security numbers, patient numbers at the doctor's office, we deal with this all the time.
Yeah, and it can really make you feel kind of insignificant, like you don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And, well, that's what this text, we're calling it pasted text for now, really gets into, like that whole feeling of being depersonalized and whether or not you truly matter.
And I think what's really interesting is this text, pasted text, it really pushes back against that feeling, right? It's saying, no,
Mm.
no, you actually do matter. And not just to like anyone, but to a a higher power that actually knows you, like personally.
Yeah, it's not just some vague, cosmic energy kind of thing.
Right.
This higher power knows you by name, gets your struggles, sees your pain, all of that.
And the text actually uses a very specific example to illustrate this point. It talks about Jesus meeting this woman in Samaria.
Right, which is really fascinating when you think about the historical context. Back then, Jews would typically avoid going through Samaria at all costs. There was like this
Hmm.
deep-seated hatred between the two
So
groups.
they'd always take the long way around. Like it was just like understood.
Exactly. But the text really emphasizes that Jesus needed to go through Samaria. Like it wasn't just a random choice.
Yeah.
It was deliberate. And that really underscores the importance of this meeting, this encounter.
And who's he meeting? This woman. And the text points out she'd had a pretty complicated life. 5 husbands, currently living with someone who's not her husband.
Yeah, it definitely paints a picture of someone who might have felt, well, kind of marginalized, maybe even ashamed, right?
Right, exactly. But here's the thing. Even with all of that, Jesus went out of his way to find her. He initiated the conversation, wanted to help her, understand her. The text really emphasizes that she, in all her, messiness, she mattered to him.
And it's not just that she mattered, right? Like the text really highlights how this encounter transformed her. It says she lost her shame. She went out and shared her experience with others. Like she went from potentially feeling insignificant to, having this really powerful story to tell.
It's really powerful, right? And this text is saying that just as Jesus sought out that woman wherever she was in her life, this same being wants to do the same for you, the listener, wants to meet you wherever you are and, well, offer you grace.
And grace, I think, is a really important word here. It's not about earning anything. It's about being accepted and helped despite your circumstances.
Exactly. So the promise here is that you're not just a face in the crowd or a number on a form. You're known
Yeah.
personally. And there's this like personal care directed towards you.
And, the text doesn't shy away from the fact that life can be tough. We all go through stuff, right? But it keeps saying that even with all that messiness, your needs can be met. And there's this potential for your life to become something truly, well, beautiful.
Yeah. Like it says in pasted text that I'm quoting here, he came to give you life and life more abundantly.
That's quite a statement,
Yeah.
right? Like about purpose, about the potential for something much, much richer.
And it all comes back to that idea we talked about at the beginning, that feeling of being insignificant.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive into pasted text, it really pushes back against that. It's saying you are known, you're seen, and you are deeply cared for.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, right? Like, why do we crave this so much? This sense of being seen, of being known.
Definitely something to think about.
It really is. So as you're going about your day-to-day, we think about this. Even when you feel the most unseen, even when you feel like just another number, what if there is a force out there that sees you, knows you, and values you deeply?
It's a lot to ponder, isn't it? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
Huh.